And what about Ronda?
Yeah.
Can you see Ronda in WWE? Apparently she's done some training. I hear that. But what do you think of that situation? Because I don't see her coming back to the UFC anytime soon. Do you?
I never talked to her about such a thing. I never really get into it. We know each other and everything, and I trained Travis Brown for his last match, and Marina, Jessamine, and Shayna are all my students, and so we know each other and everything. But I never really got into that kind of depth of conversation with her. But
well, based on her personality, and you knowing her as you do, Josh, based on her personality, because I've spoken to her at a couple of NXT events. She's very nice, a sweet smile. I'm a big fan of her in-ring work. And she lost a couple of fights. Doesn't affect me one iota. Don't care. It won't affect her in WWE either if she goes there. But I'm just wondering, because you know her much better than I ever will, how's her personality? Is she fun-loving? Does she like to have a little fun on TV? You think she would, personality-wise, fit the mold?
She's intense. I'll give her, I can say that much. She has a very, very, very high level of intensity in her personality. That's why she was able to be as successful as she was at MMA. And when, her training regimens are, incredibly hard at times, and she's just that kind of person that can take it up to gears that most people never even thought of. And she's obviously a very highly skilled athlete with a whole lifetime of judo work, which, in my opinion, judo is a great segue into wrestling because you learn how to bump in judo right off the bat. That's one of the absolute very first things you got to learn. And you're throwing and being thrown constantly. Plus, a lot of their judo drills involve a lot of flow and touch, which helps a lot also with doing wrestling. I know that Santino Morello was more of a comedic gimmick guy at the end, for a good portion of his career, and he did it well. But he's a judo background guy and a full-on shooter, so it wasn't hard for him to make that progression. But I know Ronda's been training, and I know she has, Shayna introduced wrestling to Ronda and got her hooked. So maybe that candle is getting lit and it's going from a smolder into a flame. I don't know. But if she decides that she really wants to be a worker and do the best that she can at it, with that intense, very hyper-focused mind of hers, if she puts her sights on it, I think she can easily do it.
Yeah, I think she's got the personality and the ability. Her walking to the ring was one of my favorite parts of her matches. It sounds like, well, JR's certainly not an MMA fan. No, I'm a fan of being entertained. Her beating people up, her fighting, entertained me. Her entrance, entertained me. Her exit with her mother more often than not, entertained me. So shame on me. I liked it all. I liked every bit of it. Hey, you mentioned
this is true.
You mentioned Shayna Baszler. You trained her extensively. To the fans that aren't familiar with her, what are they going to like? The WWE fans, what are they going to like about Shayna? And what can you tell us about her that they may not know? Because I found her extremely intelligent, very intense, and I was so happy that she went to the finals of the Mae Young tournament. And I can see where there's great things could happen with her if she makes the progress we think she will.
Agreed. And I'm staying in touch with her and, trying to continue to offer my mentorship, even when she's down there in Orlando. The thing about Shayna is she is a huge professional wrestling fan, not just the kind of person that just watches it and likes watching wrestling, but she knows the history of wrestling. She's proud of being in that professional wrestling lineage. That's what she considers herself. She's managed to get her opportunities to train with Billy in the past. She knows that she comes from that lineage through training with me, through the Gotch and Robinson lineage. She really respects the history of professional wrestling, from when it was all shoots to becoming works to, wherever it's going now. And it's important to her to make sure that that's respected. And so the other thing is that I trained her in more of a old school setup. And so while she is adaptable and capable of, I think she's good on the mic. She's great with dealing with the crowds. She's very great at the improv in terms of working with whoever's out there. But she's hard hitting. She's snug, and she knows how to get in there and get right on her opponent and make you believe it. And I think that's going to really stand out when you have a lot of folks that are more about gimmicks than they are about just being the thing that they want to represent as a wrestler. And she's all about being a wrestler and gimmicks second.
Yeah, I agree. She is. She's all business. She wants to get better, and she's got that competitive edge from all these years of fighting in MMA. She wants to be successful, and that's what drives a lot of fighters, in my view, because it sure as hell ain't an easy life, as you can attest. They want to be successful. They want to be good at something, and they truly believe that this is their calling. She believes that WWE is her calling. I think she's going to do great. I look at things a little differently as an old Booker person. I see Shayna on the right road becoming a great opponent for Charlotte or Asuka.
Yeah.
She's threatening to anybody because she's not a little diva. She's got muscular.
Yeah.
I think folks are going to love her when she gets unrolled there, and she's just, to me, very, very impressive. And they've done a hell of a job there, Paul Levesque and William Regal and all the crew down there, Matt Bloom, of finding the women, signing the women, training the women, and getting them in the ring. I don't think I can ever remember since the days of Billy Wolf and Mildred Burke and June Byers, where there are more women out there making a living in wrestling.
Yeah, there's been quite a shift, hasn't there?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of women getting out there and getting in the ropes and going after it versus there was, a period in the 90s, it was just more of a cheesecake thing. It wasn't really about wrestling.
No.
And that's really changed over. Girls like one of my students, Nicole Savoy, and like I'd sent Shayna over before, they're going off to Japan and doing tours with Stardom and, training in the dojo every day and living that Japanese wrestling life on the road and in the dojo and committing themselves to being full-on hard-hitting wrestlers and then coming back over here and applying what they've learned in these American rings and see that, it's just another pool of athletes that can possibly be that one that inspires or catches the eye of the wrestling fan out there. And I for one, support it.
Me too. Big time. Quickly, you also have trained Harry Smith, the large son of the late British Bulldog, the grandson of Harry's a tough kid. He's a bastard. Harry Smith. Every time I see him, I'm thinking, how much bigger, how much stronger, how much more imposing can this kid get? He's a damn beast. And I've known him since he was a little kid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How good can he be?
He still has a lot of untapped potential, in my opinion, because, for one, I really want to get him to move out here and do just a stint in Southern California, and just train with me and with others around here as much as possible. Every time he comes out, he's always, by the end of it, he's like, oh man, I thought I was here on this, but I realized I need more. I need to work on this and on this. And man, I got so much better doing that. And it's just like, yeah, dude, I mean, this is the environment that's going to take you to that level. But Harry is good about, as he's on the road, finding places to go train, going into jiu-jitsu schools and rolling with guys. And then he's made a good friendship with Tiger Mask, with Sayama, who has a dojo there in Tokyo, and he goes and he trains with a bunch of the guys out of there, various, shoot kickboxers and grapplers and everything. And so Harry stays busy, and he tries to train even when he's on the road with whoever he can. So Suzuki is his guy. He's part of Suzuki-gun. So when he can, he trains under Minoru Suzuki too. And, he really embodies that old school mentality, and he's all about going and learning how to be a full-on, shooter and learning the elements of it, and then, putting together his matches from whatever is necessary out there. But Harry, man, he's floating 260, 270, and he's missing his training regimen dialed in. And man, he was one of the most naturally strong people I'd ever met in my life as it was.
Yeah, he's special. He's a beast. I know one thing. His grandpa